Hi my angels and devils and all who may want to hear. It is Amanda Christina and it is time for part 2 of the one sheet of cardstock, two different things. So we have our leftover pieces from the Flipbook tutorial and we are going to make this little book and hopefully I'll be able to find everything I need because I didn't look before I started, which was kind of silly. So I have my measurements here. So we have our 5" by 8 1/4. So we need to score at 3.5. Hang on. Three and a half, 3 3/4, which gives you a little room for your book, although if you want a wider one you could do wider, and 7 1/4, which gives us our fold over flap. Now if you did this a little bit wider you would lose some of your fold over flap, so that's the only thing. So that's it. So we're just going to burnish just to make sure it all folds nicely. I think this is Poppy Crafts cardstock or something like that. I got a 50 pack for about $4 once upon a time off Craft Online some years ago. I don't know that they sell it often for that price, and when they do I'm usually broke. So, but yeah, so all that is going to form our little book. So now we have this part formed. Now we're going to cut extra strip into a 5" long piece, which is your side opening piece. And then to get your triangular sort of like little shape at the end of your tuck spot, excuse me, I have a bit of a tickle in my throat. You have this, which comes out of your leftover piece. So there's literally all you have to do for that part of your book. Now I have some paper here. It got a little slightly mangled, but it should still be okay for what I want to do. Okay, I didn't write down the instructions for this, so this will be fun. But what I can do is slip out the book and measure the pages, which I am pretty sure is probably a wise idea. So I'm just going to fold the book down for a minute. It is 4.5 by 6.5. So I think from memory I felt like it was, I can't remember which way, it was a bit too much. So let me have a look at where I want to take it off a bit. Sorry, just slipping this back in, and I've just done it upside down, but that's okay for now. We'll figure that out in a minute. No, that is exactly right. So what did I say? 6.5 by 4.5. So 4.5. Now I just do this. There's 5 sheets here. I am just scoring all of these at once. 4.5, 9. I'm looking at doing the 100 Things Challenge as my goal for next year. I try and set myself a goal rather than a resolution. And then we want this to be 6.5. So we do along here. Don't throw out your extra strips because you can make little books with those. I'm not even going to score past that point because then you've got that. So which makes that 3 1/4. I think I may have done this book a little smaller than I meant to, but that's okay. So you have your bits here. So what I'm going to do is just cut across here. So these can make mini journals or a little mini scrap pad or whatever you really want to do with them. I don't see the point in throwing them out because I think they're big enough to use for small journals and small albums and things. Okay, so which way do we want... Hang on, have I screwed this up? That's a good question. Which way did we want our pages to go? Oh, no, it is that way. Okay, so we're just going to cut across this centerpiece, and I've done 5 sheets of paper at once, which gives you 10 sheets, which back and front gives you 20 pieces of paper to play with. And I may have done this slightly higher than I meant to. No, actually, that works. Okay, so now we fold it over. It's not going to come out perfectly. Whenever you cut, like have large amounts of pages, they all sort of kind of have a little bit extra at the end, which I wasn't too worried about. I think I trimmed it up. Oh, well, okay, that worked out perfectly. So I will have to go back and watch this and write those measurements down. Okay, so that's all our basic bits done. Now I am going to grab some pattern paper, and we're going to use some of what's left of my Tim Holtz cardstock now because I can. So I'm going to use this for the cover of the book. I think if there is enough. Oh, I think we're just shy. So that's not going to be enough for the cover of the book. However, let's have a look at the pieces we've got left that will work for things. That can be this strip here. Yep. Actually, that is perfect for that strip there. I've put all my tape beside me on top of a container. That way I don't lose it like I did last tutorial. How fun was that? I don't know if anyone's made it through the whole hour yet. But if you did, if you make it through the whole hour, make sure to remember that there is actually a secret hidden in that video. I'm not telling anyone what it is because you have to discover that for yourself. And we're already at 6 minutes. Wow, this goes so quickly. I just, you know, but basically the gist of this is that the rest of this is just putting it together. So, just gonna, it doesn't really matter which way is up on this one. I just realised because we're going to end up putting it in, and it can go in either way. It doesn't really matter if it's not 100% perfect. Okay, so we're going to chop this off. As you can see, I really am, like, I've made it through Halloween this year on what was left from my sugar and spice pad. There's still a few pages left, but I'm going to give those to my sister because she has no Halloween paper. The one 6x6 Dead and Breakfast, and one, I think it's 8x8.5 Tim Holtz pad. Okay, so we've got this bit done, which is the bit that is going to give us our flap here. So then we've got this bit here, which I'm just going to look for a smaller scrap to play with. I have a few here. Let's see. Just looking at what I have, really. Just gonna. I thought I had more bits of Dead and Breakfast hidden away. Okay, so I am feeling like this would be a really nice one for this side bit here. So I'm just going to cover this and cover that. It's been really hot here lately, and I don't do well in the heat. There's so many things that I still haven't caught up on for Spooktober, and I do want to. I want to make sure that I have at least one video for every day up, but I will be doing my best to make sure I finish out the month strong. November will be a little bit quieter, back to our 2 videos a week, and then after that we have Vlogmas, which I have to start thinking of and preparing for because it's Vlogmas. So yes, so hopefully this month I'll get lots of chores done for everything I've got to get done, and I will also be able to get some Vlogmas videos sorted so that I'm up to date. What can I tell you is coming up? There is a tag video from my friend Noah, who is Adventures with Mooch. You really should check out his channel. If you want a kid that affirms your life and makes you realise just how incredible life can be, Noah's your kid. Okay, give me a second. I just have to pour some water into my dumplings because I am cooking dinner while I'm crafting, because I haven't eaten today, so, well, actually, I take that back. I ate a nice block, and I just lost the lid to the water, so that's just going to have to stay there like that for a moment. Okay, so we've got, oh, okay, and I just realised I did this the opposite way, but that's okay. As I said, no mistakes in crafting. We can always fix things. Okay, let's see what full sheets of paper we have left to do the cover with, because there really isn't a great deal of Dead and Breakfast left at the moment. Not Dead and Breakfast, the Tim Holtz pad. We're hitting that point where we're using up the dregs of things. I don't want to use my people. I don't want to use the ephemera piece. These sort of pieces are the bits that you cut up in a paper pad, like that give you a lot of ephemera and extra bits, which I always find very helpful. Okay, let me have a look. Okay. We have the grave one with that. We have the spider web. We have the book. We have the plaid. We have a little bit of that, but it's not enough to do the thing. And then we just have the covers. So as you can see, I have really been using a lot of Dead and Breakfast. What I think I'm going to do for the book is, let me have a look at what's... I think I'm going to go for this one. I'm not too fussed on the back of this one, but I think it'll make a nice book cover. So what we do is, because I didn't write down the measurements because I don't have a pen handy, I am going to grab the book and just measure it again. So I know it is 4.5 by, oh, it's supposed to be 3.25, but it's a bit, so 4, so we want a piece that is 4 3/4. Now sometimes I will admit to this, I will just push harder with my bone folder and cut the paper that way to get a nice sort of distressed edge. I've been trying to be a bit better about doing that. Okay, so that is the height, and then we want, what did I say it was, about 3.25, so 7.5. Let's just do 7 3/4 and take this little bit off at the end. And then, because I didn't think to measure then, I'm going to just fold this in half. I know that I could take it, actually what I'll do is I'll do that and then measure along the scoreboard and find the nearest score spot. There we go. Then we fold it, we burnish, we pop this inside, and I look for where I hid the roll of gold cord. And what I'm going to do with this is, I did put holes in the last one, but honestly I don't think I bought the yeah, I didn't bring my awl out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of this. This is Jolly and Joy metallic cord. I would have got this on super special because I was doing a friend's birthday invitations and she wanted, we thought we were going to use the cord for that and we never did. So I ended up with a glut of it, but I'm not complaining. It's not elastic, but I figured it would work just as well for this, just as long as you don't sort of pull too tight. So all I'm doing here is tucking this down, making sure there's sort of enough give, because, and the thing is, doing it this way also and not putting the hole in it means that if a person wants to cut more paper and add more pages or take out pages, it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to do that in a little notch. Just going to chop. And there's our little book made. Really simple, really easy. So far we've spent 15 minutes doing this, and part of that is me finding stuff and adding water to my dumplings. So, you know. So there's that. That's our little book going inside our book. Just want to make sure it'll fit okay. I may have done this just a little longer than I needed. Let me have a look. Yeah, it is a bit too long. So what I'm going to do is just try and pull this back into a little bit of a smaller size, so that, yeah, I'm just going to cut this one at a time. I think it's going to be easier. Hopefully the page ends won't stick out. So I've just taken quarter, I think it's about 1/4 of a meter off, 1/4 of a and I haven't cut this as well as I would have liked. It's gone a little wonky, but hopefully it will fit better in our book now. Sometimes you just have to do that. Don't throw these offcuts away because you can make some really cute cards with stuff like that. Okay, let me see now. Are you going to close? Yep, we should be fine now. So I kind of do want to just trim a little more off. So what I'm going to do is just hold this, look at where the pages are, and just trim to where the pages are. Now, if I had measured this better and done this in advance, I would have had it so that the book was a little skinnier and then the pages wouldn't end up showing out like this. But as I said, it doesn't really matter because the thing is, this is homemade. So imperfection in homemade things, I think, just gives it that look of being homemade. So there we go. So that's our book, fits in better now. So that's our little book. And you could just decorate this and use this, but okay. So now let's have a look. What did I... Okay, see now I'm losing my mind because what I did was the silly thing. I put all my pieces that I covered, I think, in here. I think. Oh no. When I don't want a tutorial to take forever, I go and do dumb things. Which will be fun to figure out. Where did I put those pieces I covered? They're really easy to find. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just down here, I'm going to grab some skinny strong tape and I'm going to put a little on the edge. And then I'm going to put, hopefully I can find where I hid those those leftover tags I'd kept. But that is the spot where the tags go. You can add other things there. I just thought it was nice to have a couple of little tags that kind of, I mean, they're dead and breakfast themed, but these, the good thing with this was Michael's paper pads, and the good things with both of these ranges is they actually work really well together. I'm super excited because I'm getting a big one for next year, a big dead and breakfast to play with, and oh my gosh, that just opens the door to so many more possibilities of things you can do. Okay, so I love small paper pads. I find that for me, having small paper pads, they're easy to store. Usually when it comes to paper pads, you're not going to be, I'm just tucking that little bit of tape that was sticking out. Okay, and then I can see that this is a little bit longer than I needed, so I'm just going to very gently shave off that little bit. It wasn't much, it was just a tiny skerrick, and there you've got a little pocket. We're going to do the same for this one, and actually what I'm going to do, because apparently it helps, I've been watching a bit of Leah Denton, and she does this in her videos, is just burnishes on the tape. We're going to take the skinny tape again, and we're going to do just one or two sides. We're nearly done. Like, honestly, now it's just cosmetic stuff. It's just, and doing our magnet, which I don't know if I want to do because I'm not confident. I'll be honest. I'm not confident of putting magnets on things because the first time I did it, it worked really well, and then on this one, it didn't really, the last one of those, it didn't really work really well. But we're going to give it a go anyway. And honestly, I'm so relieved that this is not taking as long as the other video. Because that flipbook, that was a mammoth video. It took me about 4 hours to upload that. So now we're just going to pop this over here. I'm not going to have it perfectly centered, like, oh, not centered perfectly. I just want to move that a little to make it a bit more straight. I just want to have that. That's your little tuck spot. So again, we're just going to burnish the tape just to hopefully, I don't know if that really does help, but sometimes I have trouble with my tape. So there we go. That's a little tuck spot. That's another little tuck spot. Here's your book. The next thing I'm going to do is probably figure out some, I think I'm going to use this for the cover. I think I like this one for the cover. So the cover ends up being 3.5 by 5. I should know this. So we want 3 1/4. Hang on. by 4 3/4. So we're just going to cut this at 4 3/4, and then we're going to do 3 1/4 to get our cover piece. Then I'm going to cut them down. Now you'll notice that I didn't score all the way down. I'm just scoring what I actually need. And this is simply because I do not have a trimmer, and I'm not very good with trimmers, but I am intrigued by the We Are Memory Keepers trim and scoreboard, because to me that's probably the perfect combo for me, because trimming and I can use a scoreboard, but for some reason whenever I try and use a paper trimmer I always end up going wonky. My ultimate paper trimmer I think I really want is the Cutterby Pro. No. I can't remember what it's called. For the life of me right now, my brain is just going la 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 la, and so that's not helpful. I also have out here the Tim Holtz ephemera, so I'm probably going to look through that for something for the cover. But first, what I need to do before I put this piece down is I need to grab my magnets. Now, Basic Grey no longer exists, but I got these from another store that sadly no longer sells online as well. Gosh! So we need a positive and a negative. So there's a positive here, so we're just going to pop this out. This is Basic Grey magnetic snaps. I always loved, I've had these for ages and I've only recently learned how to really use them and utilize them. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip our book, because we know the cover is this way. We're going to, this is a positive and negative set. I've just realized that this is actually a set. Okay, so we'll put that positive one back over here for now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to figure out roughly where we want. I'm going to use the better glued in piece. We're going to figure out roughly where we want it. And you want it roughly centered, sort of. And then we're going to push it. No, that's not going to stick. So what I'm going to do is take off this tape, because this sticky patch isn't working. And I am going to take a piece of the Super Strong sticky and put it down roughly where I want it. So we're looking about here, I think. And then I'm just going to pop this down. Yep, that was pretty good. And hope, no, it didn't want to give it to me. It didn't want to stay. It stuck one down, but it didn't quite stick the other. But that's okay, because one thing at a time. You want to make sure they're going to stick together. The next step is to take our cover piece. And I always thought that this would end up ripping the cover. Like, I had no idea, because I hadn't done this. I need to find a source of some cheap magnets, because I'm absolutely enthralled with doing this now. Magnetic closures are life. Really loving them. I'm not good with Velcro. Like, I have Velcro dots, but they always seem to come up. Okay, so now I'm just going to put on our cover. I'm just going to make sure it's on enough to not come up over our magnet. Now I can just do that and see. And this is where I have trouble, because sometimes when you put the paper on, it doesn't always do what you want. Okay, so just going to turn off my dumplings now, and I'm going to look for just a little piece of paper. Now for here, what I'm going to do is, that looks like it's almost about the right size, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this onto this piece so that we have like a hidden kind of closure. So I'm just going to tape that up where I want it roughly, and then just chop along there. So double-sided tape. I'm just going to do it all over this piece. It'll be easier, and then I can just chop off what I don't want. So just going to take some double-sided tape now. I'm trying to get better at getting things in frame. I'm sorry, this is a 25-minute tutorial. I do not know how to do these sort of process tutorials short. And as I have no editing skills, you kind of just have to watch the whole thing. I'm really sorry. And actually, I just realized that I didn't need that last piece of tape. So we're just going to line this up, but with just a little bit at the edge. There we go. slightly off just a little, so we just need to come up just a smidge. Basically, what you want is for it to be lined up pretty well so that, there you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece off, which, as I said, I realised I didn't actually need that last piece of tape. But this is how I get this to stay nice and smooth. And I'm not missing the magnet. Okay, good. So this is how I get that to stay nice, and then see how you're going to have this nice little flap that it all just sort of works together. So it's sort of like a hidden flap. So I just burnished that on so we know where we want that. So this piece where I tore the strip off, I'm just going to pop a strip back on to the tape so that it doesn't stick to everything else. We're going to put the magnets back in their container and pop them out of my way because I do not need those right now. So they can just go back where they were. Okay, what else am I looking for right now? So this is what we have. Oh, I need to do, what's that? That is 1 inch by 5 inch. So we need a 1 inch by 5 inch strip. So I usually just go with what I find. Like, what have I got? What works? Are you 5 inches? You're 5.5, so we can, and actually we want just a little under, as always. So 4 3/4 by 3/4. So by that, chop. Now, I know I could have all these pieces pre-prepped, and I probably should have, and I have done that for another tutorial. I have most things prepped. However, I just thought it was better in this case to not have it all pre-prepped and to show you exactly kind of what goes into making something. I know a lot of you are crafters, so you know this stuff already, but I also know a lot of people who are not crafters who don't think they can craft, and my sort of thing is to show you that with a few simple tools you really can do it. You really can be a confident crafter, which is why I haven't been doing the inking and stuff. As I said, you can ink these, it's up to you. And then I'm just going to pop this down here like that, and hope, yep, we've still got our nice magnetic clasp, and that's what you want. So that is everything. Now we're just going to tie this in, and then we're going to decorate. So what I've got is some more of this. I'm just going to wrap this around the edge. Going to open the book up to the center. Then it's just decoration, and honestly that really is a personal thing. Like, some people like things really plain, some people don't. I just like to, I don't know, I've been having a lot of fun this Halloween. This is something new for me. I sort of started doing flipbooks last year, but honestly I had never really done a flipbook before last year. And I'm really loving flipbooks now. I didn't at first. I'm really loving doing pocket letters as sort of like little scene type things. I think that's really cool as well. So there you go. You've got your two little knots hidden on the inside. You've got your little magnetic close that doesn't seem to want to close now. This is the problem I had last time I did this, but it seems to be okay now. Okay, so what I am looking for is the Tim Holtz ephemera. Ephemera. I saw you before. Oh, this is not ephemera. This is the problem with me crafting a big. Actually, you know what? I know what I had decided to do. I have, and see, I already had the insert cut and completely forgot. I actually had a nice bat I was going to use on the front. And I might, the other thing I was going to do with the bat was something I had thought about, because have you noticed how sticky these pieces are? Like, things stick to them even if you don't intend them to. So what I had thought was I would come through and throw, this is my favourite glitter, I need more of this, I love this glitter so much. This is Martha Stewart's Black Onyx glitter, and it is just amazingly beautiful. It is rich and gorgeous, and well, and I just flung it everywhere, and that did not work as beautifully as I had hoped, but it still fills in some of the sticky spots a bit, so at least it's not as bare and sticky, I guess. I don't know if I'm the only one who finds that with flourishes and things. It's one of my little pet peeves, is that the way they stick them on means that they're sticky, and, you know, I get a very dusty house, so things stick to other things very easily. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just pop that back on my shelf, move that out of the way. Yeah, I think I might do it this way. Why not? Why not? Do a little dance. Why not? I know there's a few little bits in there that I need to come through with a pin and put them. But see, like, I really like that. Just look at how much extra sparkle you get because of that glitter now. And that's it. I'm not going to sit here and embellish it too much. I'm not going to add all the bits to the inside because I think I'd like this to be a surprise for whoever actually gets it, what bits I add. So that's it. That's a simple tutorial. Let me know below what you thought of this. Will you be trying to make one? I know it's sort of Traveler's Notebooky. I didn't really think about that when I was just designing this. I was just playing. And maybe this bit needs to be burnished a bit better. Okay, so that is it. That is my little Halloween notebook from scratch. And you've got some tuck spots and things. This one goes this way, and you've got your little magnetic clasp again. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this one. Remember, as always, you are incredible, you are amazing, and you truly do matter. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you all soon, my angels and devils. Bye!